Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Power On Weekly, hosted by your boy, Irving Legend, and your girl, Allie Mayhem.
Hi.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 5 of Power of Weekly.
I believe so.
Yes.
Hopefully we're not wrong.
Thanks for joining us. Now, today we have a very special episode. Today we are having our very first guest, Steve Granado, showing up later on in the episode. For now,
Not in person.
Not in person, no. He is in another state, not even where he originally lives. But he'll be joining us later through a Zoom call. So stick around for that. We're gonna have a really interesting conversation. But we're gonna start off the podcast with another very interesting conversation about Xbox. Now, I'll be honest, this week is just Xbox's week because
all Xbox chat through this whole episode.
Yeah,
so.
because they came out like saying some really interesting and bold decisions that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in the show, Steve and I are going to talk about Xbox game Xcloud coming to Game Pass later on this year. But Allie and I, we're going to talk about this very unique and interesting decision that Xbox decided to do, which is to kind of silently discontinue the Xbox SAD edition, the Xbox S All Digital edition, and the Xbox One X.
Before we have release dates or release prices or anything for the new consoles.
Yeah. So, very interesting. Very interesting move from Xbox. Well, so what does this tell us? What are we speculating?
We're good at speculating.
I think so.
I mean, I feel like it tells us a lot about pricing structure and about what their plans are before they're even announcing them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we've been spending the time kind of trying to look at like what price point each of those consoles were at and what the new Xbox Series would replace those with.
Yes.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah, we ran the numbers. We hit up our salaryman Griff and we ran the numbers together, and we came up with some theories as to why the Xbox SAD edition specifically and the X are getting canceled. But the S,
continuing.
The Xbox One S is still gonna be continued. It's still gonna be supported. Now, it's been kind of hard to find prices of what these consoles were because now they're being price gouged and
price
stuff.
Gouged, and they're already sold out.
Yeah, so we can't even see what they were. But after some detective work, we're gonna break down the consoles, what they mean, what they are, and the prices, and what this means for Series X and the rumored Lockhart. Okay, so currently, right now, the only console you can purchase is the Xbox One S. That one comes with a disc drive. It's basically what the Xbox One is, but it's just smaller. It does 4K. It doesn't do 60 frames or anything like that, but it's still a good console, and that's coming in at $300.
It's a good console, but it's considered the low end of the Xbox Series now.
Yes, it's the low
Very
end,
low
unless
end.
you want to go with this low end.
That they're still making.
Yes, that nobody's talking about. So that's $300, okay? If we look at the Xbox SAD edition, I keep saying SAD because it's S All Digital edition. We found that it's $350. So you're paying a little bit more for not having a disc drive, but you get a terabyte of it, which is interesting. For us, we haven't bought a game physically in a really long time.
No.
We've been taking advantage of the game sharing and stuff, and even gold as well. Like we just paid for one gold for each or one of us, and then we just share it.
Yeah.
So a digital edition I think is really strong right now because as the world is currently now, it's even harder to get. Not harder, but just it's extra steps to get physical copies of games. Mm-hmm. That if you have the space, you might as well just go for a digital download, especially in our case where we just share the game anyways.
Well, and you can always add on memory.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I mean,
we do it with ours.
Yeah, having these hard drives here, that's what we do. We just add it on and that's it. That'll be not something we can do for the Series X, which we'll get to later maybe, mm-hmm. But because they have their own proprietary memory thing. But
as long as it's an option to upgrade your memory, yes. I think that's fine.
Yes, but you have to buy their memory cards. You remember in the 360 mm-hmm. era where they had a memory card slot and you had to buy their memory card slot in order to
or the PSP, it was such a specific type of memory card you had to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like that. But so
I mean, I don't think that's. I mean, it sucks because you can't just go and buy whatever.
Mhm.
But I get it. Like they want to again keep you in the same family, and with some
Yeah.
decisions they're making, sounds like they maybe are going to pick up a little extra cash here or there with some other choices like that.
Yeah, so the specific reason for that is because that their built-in SSD into the Series X is very specific, and a terabyte, WD MyBook or something like that will not. It doesn't run the same way.
Got it.
So there's no way for you to just like bring that into there, like plug it into your Series X and have the same games play at the same maximum output. So that's why they want you to buy
So
the
it's a
proprietary
design
one.
decision, not even just a financial decision.
It might be a little bit of both, but
Yeah.
it's more for benefits for the games because they share almost the same they share the same SSD. You won't have a difference between them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the reason why they're doing that. Now we're looking at the SAT edition now. It's $350, and then if you go up to the Xbox One X, they're about $400. This launched at $500. I think it was like 2 years ago or last year. And now it's $400. Well, it was $400 because they're not selling it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all that being said, I think we can make a safe assumption as to what the prices of Series X and the rumored Lockhart are going to be.
$500 launch at least,
500, yeah.
and probably somewhere between $350 and $400 for the discless edition.
Yes.
And I think the reason that they are discontinuing these is so that, like, you're basically getting a very similar product.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to keep that line going.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone has the options, why wouldn't you just buy the newer console, even if it's only a little bit more?
Yeah, yeah.
And then keeping one single Xbox One series for anyone who maybe wants to continue with that, or maybe has to replace an Xbox One. They're going to give that like little bit of leeway, like a year or two of continuing, which is what they've done with every console generation. They've never completely just discontinued a console directly after a launch of a new one. You kind of have like that year or two where they keep producing, and then they slowly phase that out.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that they are phasing out these things before a launch, and that is why we can feel like we can safely speculate kind of pricing and why.
Yeah, I think this is, like you said, like they're not very known to like just come, especially with the direction that Xbox is going, where it's like they're not doing the PlayStation route where it's like this is a new generation of consoles, we're sticking to this, and all your new games are on this. They're very much in the ecosystem of like if you somehow own some sort of Xbox thing, you're in the ecosystem. So it is very interesting that they're discontinuing the X and the SAT edition, because the X is very powerful. It's compared to the original Xbox One. I think it's like 4 times stronger than it. And the Series X is like a world's difference than this.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of why we're speculating that the rumored Lockhart will just replace the X.
Absolutely.
And because the rumored Lockhart has no disk drive, then there's no reason to have the SAT edition. So that's hope. I mean, I think we've nailed it, right? I think that's pretty safe assumption. So I'm not trying to get my hopes up or anything as far as prices go, but I almost feel like that this all makes so much sense that the Lockhart would be 400 and the Series X would be 500.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe 550.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how expensive the technology is and everything going on right now. But yeah, I think it's safe to assume that it's basically, because I mean, if you think about it too, the technology from these Xboxes aren't really that old.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're just replacing it with an updated version. It's a new series, but it's just kind of like an updated version to what we've already had. And it sounds like that's what it's just going to continue to do. Is it's going to continue, like Microsoft's just going to continue to kind of evolve their products. Like, yes, it's a new series, it's a new console, but it doesn't feel in the same vein as like you said, PlayStation, where it's like, this is new generation, new everything. It's like, I definitely feel more of an evolution.
Yeah.
Kind of like with the Pokemon, where you got the 1 and then you got the 2, but it's like Microsoft's going that like full three evolution route. Maybe a mega,
yeah. The Series X because of Mega, Gigantamax, you know.
Oh yeah, they're definitely like doing it's an evolution, and it feels like, I feel like the next time there's a new generation, quote unquote, I feel like with Microsoft, it's not even going to be that, because it doesn't even feel like that going into this one now with how they're doing everything and how they're rolling out everything. it feels more like an evolution versus just a whole new generation and a whole new thing.
Yeah.
And I think that line is going to continue to get blurred more and more and more
Mhm.
over the years. I think they're going to start blurring that line with their stuff. But I think PlayStation will constantly be like, here's the new thing. But I think they're going to just slowly just start to split into these two different kind of, ideas and rollouts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right as well. Like, that's a great way to like look at it, because that's what we've been kind of getting from Microsoft, right? Like, they've been very open about the Series X and everything going forward from that since December of last year. And like, I mean, this week in general, like, we've got some big news. So they're being very transparent about what they're doing, and it makes sense from a consumer standpoint, because like, that's the ideal thing, right? Not being locked out of the new games because you can't afford or something like that. Or or especially in a time like now where like we're people are scavenging to just stay afloat, like the last thing on their mind is buying a new console when they already have a perfectly working one. So for me, I think the direction that Xbox is going with their new generation is really welcoming, and it just kind of opens the door for anybody to just be a part of the ecosystem, right?
Absolutely, at any fair price point.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you're always going to have the fanboy or like the tech nuts who like, I need the latest and the greatest.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like for me, I've never been like that. I've always been kind of cheap.
Yeah.
I'm just being really honest and really, like, so for me, it's always been like, if my console works and I can still play a game on it, it may be also partially like, I don't know what I'm missing out on. Mm-hmm. But that's great for me, because then I don't want to go and spend that extra money. Mm-hmm. Like we are very clear. We have the original Xbox Ones. Yeah. We never upgraded. And because I'm always to that point too, where if I get to a point where I'm about to upgrade, my timing's always great. It's almost always when the next console comes out. Yeah. Or like there has to be such a major improvement. Mm-hmm. And by the time they came out with the Series, the X,
the Xbox One X,
the One X,
yeah.
We had already discussed, we're like, they're gonna have a new console in a year or two. Uh-huh. Like we knew it, and we're like, if these are working, we're gonna just keep using them. So like, it's nice though. It's nice that going into this, because that was a big issue I had with the One. Mm-hmm. Me and Irving started dating right around when this came out, and I was on 360, and I really didn't want to upgrade. I didn't, because I was like, I'm good. I have a great console. It still works. But he had upgraded, and we immediately, right at the beginning of our relationship, had this wall where it's like, well, we can't play games together unless I make the commitment, or you have to keep buying 360 games, and that makes no sense. Yeah. So to play with him, I upgraded sooner than I probably would have. But it's nice kind of going into this new generation of that's not necessarily an issue. Yeah. I think now we've had these long enough that we'll want to upgrade once we have a little extra money. Mm-hmm. To the new series, but it's nice not having that forced upon us. Yeah. So. Because
even then, like I almost don't, and this is funny because like I almost feel like Xbox doesn't even care if you buy their new system or not. Like if you have a PC, like my PC, like I love playing on my PC. I love playing. It works really well, and the fact that I could just play Halo Master Chief Collection on there, and even like the new Halo Infinite when it launches on there, because I have Xbox Ultimate. Like that's just even better, right? Like the fact that I don't have to go spend $600 or $500 on a new console when I have a PC that can do it. Like, yeah, we'll probably get it just because like we're geeks and we're nerds and whatever. But
there's still the itch to want to upgrade.
Sure, yeah,
it's not like we haven't had those moments,
but there's not a necessity. Like I don't feel like a sudden like necessity of it, and that's why
you did when the One came out, because it was a huge difference.
Yeah,
between the two consoles, night and day in how much the technology had evolved. Yeah, and it made sense at that point. And again, it goes into too there's a mass migration, right? Yeah. That's how these new console generations have always worked. It's like, even if you don't want to upgrade, your friends are all on there and you're now unable to play with them. So it's almost a necessity. Yeah. This is nice having more of that choice.
No, definitely. I mean, when the 360 to One generation was there, that was the traditional console launch. You're moving forward and all that. But this is this is brand new. This has not really been done before. And, they kind of, the media has been like kind of skewing something that Phil Spencer said in an interview where he said there's not going to be like an Xbox Series X exclusive for like years. And they're like, oh, that means there's no exclusive for Series. It's like, yeah, because you can play it all on a bunch of systems. You can play it on xCloud.
No
You can play it on
exclusive-
PC.
yeah,
You can play it on Xbox
exclusivity.
One. Like Series X, it's just the ecosystem. It's just the Xbox family. It's no more generations or like that one box is the only thing you can play. Unlike Sony of what they're doing, but like nothing against Sony's generation, like what they're doing with this generation. But that's just I definitely am enjoying. Not enjoying, but like I really like the direction that Xbox is going. So yeah.
Well, and with that direction too, you see that also in the news of gold being eliminated.
Yeah.
You kind of see the continuation of that, of it being like a wider ecosystem. Microsoft is definitely branching off to, you're not just an Xbox gamer. You're a Microsoft gamer. It's a full blown thing.
Mm-hmm.
And with them getting rid of
gold,
it kind of also plays into that, like, well, why am I having to pay to play online with other people when your PC counterparts don't, and all this sort of thing.
So
I know you have thoughts.
Yeah, so specifically they got rid of Xbox Live 12 months of gold. So I don't know what the price is anymore, but they're getting rid of that. And we don't know why. So we can speculate that maybe they're getting rid of just Xbox Live Gold, and basically if you have an Xbox you can play online. But if you play on PC, it's kind of dumb because you could just play on Steam and play free, when you buy a game.
Multiplayer, yeah.
Yeah, so there might be, the move might be to get rid of Xbox Live Gold and just have the upgrade just be Game Pass. That way you can take advantage of Game Pass's like giant library, because basically right now if you spend $10 on Xbox Live Game Pass, you already have Xbox Live Gold. And to get even 1 month of Xbox Live Gold, it's $10 anyways. Mm-hmm. So you're like, you might as well just get it. Like, it's there.
They're already basically giving Xbox Gold for free.
Yes.
And yeah, I think back in the day, the whole subscription for your multiplayer thing was just a buffer and a source of continued income, especially for those people who maybe only buy, like me, I'm a huge example of this, who only buy 1 or 2 games, who aren't really contributing to the monetization.
Yeah, a traditional
like I'm not buying a game every single month, but so they're still able to kind of profit off of that. I'm sure it does help support servers and stuff. Well, like you said, like the fact that you can just buy gold and it's like what, a $5 upgrade, or it's essentially free. They now have a new subscription model that's going to kind of carry that weight.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, like you said, because if you're on PC, like why would I pay money to play online? It seems like they're just kind of, it's more like a transfer of like, well, we'll get people with the library, and it definitely serves a much bigger value for that amount of money. It always felt kind of crappy to pay to play online. I know even now even Nintendo has done that, and it feels really crappy. Yeah. I mean, but again, like you definitely feel like you're actually getting something for your value. When you have this big ass library. Definitely,
because of Game Pass and because of the giant library, just being able to just like pick games and just download them and play them, and then like, all right, that's it, move on to the next one. I think that's really, really, really good. And like when you're comparing it to like Nintendo, they didn't have an online service. It was just always online free. And then they made an online service, but half of the features aren't even like available. Like the whole Animal Crossing debacle, where like, but one of the features of Nintendo Online was for you to be able to have cloud storage. But a game like Animal Crossing, where people put thousands of hours into, have a chance for it to just kind of, if something happens with your system or something and your memory erases, then all those hours is gone. But they don't offer cloud. Like, how is that?
I have 300 hours in that game, and if I lost it, I'd be devastated. Do you know how long it took to find that freaking cutting board?
The cutting board.
The cutting board.
Yeah. But yeah, like even a system as flawed as that, like it's still doing well. But like I don't know. It's almost like when you compare it to a system like Xbox, it's like this is so much better that.
Well, and to be fair, too, the issue with Nintendo also is that they were kind of like, oh, it looks like we're missing out on an opportunity, versus, like, at least, like, Xbox, the minute I bought an Xbox, I knew that was part of my investment in them. Yeah. It was never a question. I knew, oh, okay, I have to, like, I have to pay to be online. Fine. like if I want to be online, that's what I have to do. You didn't have that with Nintendo, so it just feels kind of scummy to just be like, oh.
Yeah, no, it does.
But yeah, like I said, so like the fact that it's like it feels like they're moving just that value over, and you definitely get more for that money. And I like the idea that maybe you won't have to pay to be online though. And then the other thing is just an add-on and a choice. And I would love to see Microsoft continue in this direction, because it seems like that is the direction they're headed with everything. Yeah. One ecosystem, one, like
the accessibility,
and more about the experience, not about what you're playing or where you're playing.
Yeah.
But like how you're playing and how that experience is. And that seems like that would make sense. It's just one more step in that direction.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I think these moves are very interesting. But I want to know what you guys think about what's happening in the world of Xbox. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this discontinuing of the Xbox One X or the SAT edition. Do you currently own any of those two consoles? How do you feel about it? Maybe they're like going to be collectibles. So let me know what you think. And are you planning on getting an Xbox One X or Xbox Series X or a Lockhart? Which, real quick, that's also another reason why I think they're discontinuing it, because this is very kind of not confusing, but like imagine a mom going to Walmart or something for the holiday, and it's like, can I get the X, the one X? And it's like, well, do you want the X?
You're gonna have the disappointed kid that got the old console.
Yeah.
They're like, what the heck, Mom?
Maybe they're just clearing up, making it as minimal as possible. So that I think that also might be.
What do you want? Small, medium, or large?
Yeah.
Go on the McDonald's route, Do you want to supersize that?
Yeah. Well, Allie's going to take a break for this next segment, but joining us soon is our first special guest for Power On Weekly, and we'll see you soon in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us again, and today we have our very first special guest. I want to introduce my good friend Steve Granado. Steve, welcome to the podcast.
Dude, first guest.
Look
at that. Yeah. Look at that. We figured it out. I'm excited, dude. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. I'm a fan. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Let me just start.
Okay.
With an LxMDuo fan.
An
Irving Legend and Allie Mayhem fan. Have been following you guys for a while. And I texted you 2 days ago? We've known each other for 4 years now, which is wild.
So crazy.
Just a quick little backstory. We met on Overwatch in 2016. That's so crazy. And then here we are. Oh, what a time.
Yeah, what a time. We've met in person. We've met a couple of times. We went to the Overwatch League together, and then, got some really expensive coffee and honey toast. I took you to that honey toast place.
Did. You did.
Oh yeah, that's true. You didn't get that. Yeah,
I was like, I ain't doing that.
But to start things off, go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you? Why should people listen to you? And
no one should.
Yeah.
I'm Steve. By day, sports broadcaster. Cover tons of sports across the country. That's not why you're here for me. But avid gamer, like I said, Irving and I and Allie and that whole crew, we met on Overwatch, and yeah, that's just I've even considered a career going into shoutcasting and that kind of stuff, but that hasn't panned out just yet. I'm still sticking to regular old team sports, but yeah, man, it's I don't know, that's me. I've been a gamer since I was a kid. First thing I had was the Sega and the original Game Boy. So I've been around it for a minute.
Nice. Yeah. Well, shoutcasting might be in your future, so you better watch out. But for now, you're just humble Steve.
Humble Steve.
Yeah. Now, Steve, I want to ask you a question. I'm going to start asking every special guest that we have just a random video game question. But what I want to ask you is, if you can erase one video game from your memory to replay and re-experience again, what video game would that be and why?
Dude, no hesitation. Life is Strange. Oh my God. The first time I played Life is Strange, the first one. Oh, that's easily the answer. Right behind it, maybe Red Dead 2 and like Portal 2, just so I can relive all those puzzles, so I don't remember any of them. But no, Life is Strange. Oh my gosh, so I know you haven't dabbled too much in it. I know I've tried to get you into doing it, but I mean, I made my girlfriend play that game, and she she lost it. She was like, "This is so stressful." I'm like, "Oh, but it's the best kind of stress." I love that game so much.
You have told me a lot that to play that game, and when I was thinking about this question, I already knew that was going to be your answer, so that's actually hilarious. That
That's funny.
yeah, but that's awesome.
I think I've said that to you. I want to erase my memory and redo that game.
Yeah, actually, I think that might be why I remember it so fondly. That's a great answer. I will play it for you, Steve. Okay, I will play it.
What,
all right.
Well, what about you? What would you erase if you could?
Hands down and no hesitation again is Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect, okay. The Mass Effect series, everyone knows that I'm such a huge fan. I love the Mass Effect series, and if I could erase one, it would be Mass Effect 2 because of the relationships you build in that game are just so good, and I love doing every single side quests and side missions to get your team ready for that final spoilers, that final battle, and where if you don't have if you didn't do a character's mission and you didn't complete it, there might be a chance that they would die. So I love that game. I love Mass Effect. I love the series. So Mass Effect 2, hands down at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good choice.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, but we're not here to talk about video games and reminisce and all that. Well, we are talking about video games.
We're not here to talk about video games, Irving. We're here to talk about the state of the world.
Reminisce about old video games. What we are here to talk about, and the reason why you contacted me, is Project Xcloud. Okay, we have some very exciting news that was announced on Wednesday for Project Xcloud. But you actually reached out to me and you wanted to talk about Project Xcloud before the news even came out. So for those of you who don't know what Project Xcloud is, it is Xbox's streaming platform service, similar to NVIDIA GeForce, right? And Stadia. And it's been kind of really not talked about as much as it really should be, because it's really underrated in my opinion. Right now is a beta kind of trial service that you can do where you can sign up, and as long as you have an Xbox controller, phone that has is a current generation phones and 5G network, and I think Xbox Live, you could just play 50 games that they have. And
you don't even need Xbox Live.
Oh, you don't need Xbox Live.
At least right now for the beta, because I don't have Xbox Live right now, and I'm using.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. So right now for the beta, you can play a bunch of games, and they're not just like indie games and just games from years ago. These are games that are pretty relevant. Am I right? We've got
dude. I've been playing Master Chief Collection, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Halo 5. That's been the main ones, but they have Subnautica's on there, which is awesome. I've been playing that PC wise. But yeah, no, there's a ton of good games on there, and I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I said, don't have Xbox Live, and I don't own Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but I'm playing it. So they're just letting you play everything that's on there, no charge, which I'm and it only took me 3 days to get to be a beta tester.
Yeah. When I signed up for it, I signed up really early in, and it took me a minute for them to do everything. But I did the same thing. I started playing a bunch of games that I didn't own. I played Ace Combat 7. I played Master Chief, Halo 5 on there. They have even games third-party games like Dragon Age Inquisition you can play. Devil May Cry 5. That game came out last year. Yeah. It's crazy. Destiny 2. I mean, Forza Horizon 4, Forza 7, Gears of War. The list goes on. These are huge games. Now, you said, you don't have what's it called, Xbox Live or anything. So what kind of triggered you to, not triggered you, but what kind of brought you to even be interested in Project Xcloud?
Okay, so I live in California normally, which is very close to you, only a few hours away. But over the summer, I work in North Carolina, so I'm in North Carolina right now. And it's like a Sophie's choice every time I do this because I need to choose what I can and can't bring. So what I did, I mean, I am living my childhood dream. I have every system.
Uh-huh.
I have the Switch, Xbox, PS4, and a PC. So when I come out here, the only thing I bring is my laptop for work, and my phone and my Switch, because those are the things I can carry and not, I don't need extra luggage for because I'm flying. So I needed to find a way to fill game time, especially during the pandemic. I've been playing a lot more. I've been playing before I left California for work. I've been playing tons of Planet Coaster.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
Tons of. I mean, in like one day, I played like 12 hours. And I haven't done that in a video game in so long because I've never had the time. But so like I needed to fill that hole for sure. And last summer, I really got into playing Switch. I was playing a ton of Switch games. I was playing Celeste, and a bunch of other ones that aren't hitting my brain right now. My friend Pedro, that was a good one. But so like this year, I haven't been playing a ton of Switch, and so I brought the Switch. I have some games that I'm kind of like, I got the Star Wars Racer.
Oh, the pod
So
racer.
I was like, I was
Yeah.
like, it's fun to revisit that, and I beat it in like 2 days. Like it's not that hard. But there's not a lot of games on Switch right now that like are piquing my interest. So I had to find a new avenue, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Xcloud like exists as a beta thing, and I found out you can like sign up for the beta. I was like, okay, why not? I'll throw my hat into the pile here and see what happens. And then it took like 2 days for them to respond and added me. And I was like, great. Like, okay, cool. But off mic, I was telling you I didn't have my Xbox controller. So I was like, crap, like I can't play these games. So what I did is I got the Razer Kishi, which is like a Bluetooth controller that's USB-C. So I have the OnePlus 7 Pro,
Okay.
which I love, by the way,
Yeah.
and love this phone. And then, this guy just slides over the top of it, if I can do it quickly. But it's like super, I know we were talking about it before too, Irving, but like this thing is like really like sturdy, and it essentially turns your phone into a Switch, right? Like it's like great. So I got this, which wasn't super cheap, and I'm not super proud of how much I spent on it, but especially when I own an Xbox controller, and the clip is like $6 on Amazon.
Yeah. I got the clip. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the. You're smarter than me, but cool brag. But yeah, no, I got the Kishi, and like it's good. Like it's crazy how good it is. I mean, obviously it's in a beta, so there's definitely bugs, and I've been like submitting feedback whenever I run into a bug because I care about this product, and like to get into the broader scope of it, Irving, like this is xCloud is huge. Like it's so at the forefront of where gaming is going, and like I think, like you think obviously we compare Xbox and PlayStation all the time.
Yeah.
So let's do that in this case, and I obviously want to ask your opinion on this too.
Okay.
But like, so there's in my head, gaming can go in two directions right now. Like if you're Sony or you're from Microsoft. And I feel like Sony is not necessarily all in, but they've chosen their path to be VR, right? They have chosen PSVR. That's the route they're going. They know they're going in that direction, and that's fine. Microsoft isn't going that way. They're leaving that up to, Facebook and everybody else. They're like, we're going to do the cloud thing. We see the Switch market. We're going to do the Switch thing. And I think that accessibility, because they're all about accessibility right now. Like you think of like, go back a couple of years, like with all the controller stuff, with the accessibility for controllers, like they just want to get more games into more people's hands. And when you buy into that ecosystem, you think Google, you think Alexa, right? iPhone, you like get into the Apple ecosystem, you get into the Google ecosystem, you get into the Amazon ecosystem. It's hard to get out of them. So they're trying to make it that okay, you have a cell phone that can download this app. You can play these games on your PC. You can play them on your laptop. You can play them on your Xbox if you want to buy one. But they don't even I think they don't even care about their Xbox sales for Project X, right? I don't think they necessarily care. They're like, we're making an ecosystem that you can't get out of. I think that's their plan. And I think that's the right move.
Yeah, no, 100%. And a lot of people have been actually especially media have been having this exact discussion where it's they, like you said, they almost don't even care that if you buy the Series X, because if you own an Xbox, if you own a PC, if you have a phone, you're already in their market. You're already in their ecosystem, whether you want to be or not. It's there available to you. It's very accessible, and I think that you're 100% right in the fact that Sony and Microsoft are both in very different spaces. Sony is very traditional in the way that they're going into the next console generation, right? Not a lot of backwards compatibility. If you get a PlayStation 5 game, it's a PlayStation 5 game, unlike Xbox where it's optimized for Series X, but you can still play it on One, and there's not going to be really a definitive only for Xbox Series X game for the next 2 years. And with the direction that they're going right now, I think it's very obvious that is their goal. As long as you have one of these three things in your hands, you are a part of the Microsoft ecosystem.
Or at least you can be. At least you can.
Or you can be. It's extremely accessible to everybody. And I think, Xbox, Xcloud is just a bonus, honestly, because I currently own have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, right? And Ultimate comes with Xbox Live, you get Game Pass, which has a ton of games that you can play on your Xbox, and then you also get Game Pass on your PC as well. You can play Halo 5, Halo Infinite, Halo Master Chief Collection, all their new stuff that they're bringing out to Master Chief Collection on PC, and all first-party games are going to be available on Game Pass.
Yeah, and they're essentially all first-party now because Microsoft bought all those studios.
Yeah, so to think that you can play the next Halo Infinite by just having Game Pass in general and Game Pass Ultimate, it's huge. It's so, I don't know why people aren't buying into this as much as they should, because there essentially is no catch, and at the end of the day, everyone wins. It's so weird. So
it is crazy, right?
Yeah.
But this is what I want to pose to you too. So obviously my case is prime for this, right? I am not at home for an extended amount of time, 3+ months that I do not have Xbox access to my Xbox. So I am in the perfect market for Xcloud. And especially given the state of the world for the next X amount of months, at least the state of the United States for the X amount of months, you have all the access in the world to your Xbox. So who do you think, how do you, when the world gets normal, quote unquote, again, how do you see yourself using Xcloud?
So I personally use Xcloud right now, which is funny because when I'm lazy, okay, so I have, the way my setup is, we have the game room downstairs, and if I'm just upstairs chilling with Allie, she's watching something on Hulu upstairs, or she's playing Animal Crossing, I'll just grab my controller, I'll grab my thing, I'll literally just plug my phone right here and just start playing Monster Hunter, right? When it's more for me, for more casual, just whenever I don't want to come downstairs, commit to sitting down for a while.
Get a game in or two, you just go play Halo, play some SWAT on Halo for a little bit, and then while dinner's in the oven. Yeah,
exactly. Because the other thing too is it's not just, well, I don't know if this will continue over to what we're going to talk about next, but you can play a library of games on Project Xcloud, but then you can also stream games from your Xbox to your phone.
That's craziest.
That's what I do. I play Monster Hunter World. I'll just stream it straight to my phone, and I'll just play it on there, and I'll just go and quickly pop Gigante in the head and just kill him, whatever. But that's what I primarily use it for. I would love to be able to use this the same way that I would be able to play the Switch on the go, because I also do real estate photography, so I'm driving between houses and sometimes I have an awkward amount of time where I can't necessarily go home or can't go to
you have
hang
40 minutes.
Yeah, so yeah. I would love to be able to just bring it out, and I've tried it before. I've tried to play Project Xcloud on the go, And this is something where it's kind of an issue. What I see with it is that if you don't have 5G network, like it's not good. Like it stutters a lot. It's not the best. When I'm connected to my Wi-Fi at home with 5G, it's so good. Like it's minimal input lag. Like I hardly have any issues. So I would love to be able to get that to that point when I'm like out and about. But for me personally, I just use it. So I think it's definitely more keen to how like switches are used, where you're like on the plane going somewhere, or like heading to you're in a different like state, like in your case where you connect to a Wi-Fi or something. But I think it will only get better as technology gets better and as 5G starts to become the norm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I have not great Wi-Fi where I'm staying right now. Like it's fine. Like I can stream like YouTube and stuff. It's fine. But like whenever I try to do something heavier, if I'm trying to watch something in 4K or if I'm trying to do xCloud, I get a lot of like this like refreshing. I don't know if you've seen that on xCloud where it kind of like does a full swipe from the top down.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I mean, it's in beta, dude. Like it's in beta. So like obviously it'll get better. And like with their announcement, like it's insane what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but it's
let's talk about the announcement.
So smart. Yeah. Get into it.
So on Wednesday they announced that Xbox Xcloud is coming to Game Pass Ultimate for no extra charge. So $15, you still get the exact same thing that you've always gotten if you got an Ultimate plus Game Pass. It's just added in. So the thing I don't know or Xbox Xcloud, right? The thing I don't know is that if those games that were on Xcloud are also available to you, because I'm pretty sure some of those games aren't on Game Pass. But I would assume so, right? If they have all those 50 games that you can play currently on XCloud, they'll just roll it over to Game Pass.
It has to be, yeah.
Yeah, but it just blows my mind how like, because that was something that I was gonna ask. We were gonna talk about before the news broke. Was like, I wonder how they're gonna integrate it, and I think this is like better than anything I could have expected.
Yeah. Oh, I never expected that. That's such a huge move. Like that's so. Like how much does Ultimate cost right now? Like $15 a month.
15. Yeah.
Like that is almost what Xbox Live costs.
Mm-hmm. $10 for a month for Xbox Live.
Yeah. So, and they know that. Like obviously it's a marketing strategy. It's a business plan. Like they don't make any move by accident. They know that by doing this move, it can only benefit them. Because like it goes back to the accessibility thing where it's the Netflix model where it's like it's everywhere, dude, and it's all the shows you've heard of and it's all the shows you want to watch and it's everything everyone's talking about. So like even if you don't use it, which a lot of people won't use xCloud regularly, right?
Yeah.
Like how to go back to like when will you use it? It's like I think of like New York, right? You're on the subway on the way to work, but like you can't like I don't have a Tesla, so I don't have a car driving itself. Like I can't do that in LA. Like I'm driving for an hour, but like waiting rooms and things like that, and just like killing time, like that's the exact same thing. It's like so even if people aren't using it, that's fine because they're still getting that $15 every month.
Yeah, I mean the same thing could be said for like how Game Pass in general is right now. Like if you just have base Game Pass, you could just get it for $10 a month. That's exactly what it is to get a month of Xbox Live regardless. Mm-hmm. So in a way, you almost already have it anyway. So whether you use it or not is up to you. It's up to the consumer. But at the same time, the amount of games that are on there that literally blows my mind. Like when Devil May Cry came out and then like 3 months later it was on Game Pass, I was like, how? Like what? What is this sorcery?
That's dude, wait till like Red Dead gets on there. Dude, that's how I played The Outer Worlds. Yeah. I played it on Game Pass.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, I wanted it, but I wasn't trying to spend more money, like especially during this pandemic and stuff. I was like, but then it came on Game Pass and I was like, I mean, I'm gonna hop on there for 20 hours and I'm gonna play Outer Worlds. And like that's how I started playing Subnautica. I played that for a good like 10-15 hours. Like that game's super fun. Like all these like small little games that are on there. And that's such good exposure for those games. Cause you think like for those, so it all kind of feeds into itself, right? Where it's like these games, even if they're not necessarily Microsoft titles, but they're on Game Pass or they're on xCloud or whatever it is, it gets people talking. Right? It's word of mouth. It's like, Like me telling you to go play Life is Strange. It's the same thing. It's like, dude, have you played Subnautica? That's not a Microsoft game. But I don't have Game Pass, but I'll go check it out. Or that's on Game Pass. Maybe I'll finally buy it.
Yeah,
and there it is, dude. And that's exactly the thinking that is gonna make Microsoft buku bucks.
definitely. I mean, we can a perfect example is we can look back a couple of weeks ago where the developer of Descenders, which is like just like this like really fun, quirky like downhill bicycle game that really like. I'm sure you haven't even heard of it, but like they tweeted out how amazing that their partnership with Game Pass has been, and they're even extending it more because, like you said, word of mouth, it's on there, and then once it goes away, it's gone. So if people really want it, they'll buy it, and they've seen an influx of like sales that they said themselves are like, had it not been for the Game Pass, we probably wouldn't have gotten as much success. So,
they're taking like. Sorry to cut you off, but they're taking, like, it just popped in my head. They're taking the same model that like Spotify is taking, or like all of music is taking, right? Where it's just like all inclusive. Like artists like DaBaby he's not making money on Spotify, but he's getting his music out there on Spotify, and now people are coming to concerts, people are buying vinyls, people are buying T-shirts. Like that's how artists are making money. So why wouldn't that same model work in video games? It totally works. So it's like you mentioned, like there's no catch. Like it's so crazy. Like we sound like we're working for Microsoft right now, but like there's no catch. Like it benefits Microsoft because more people are using their products. It benefits game studios because people are playing their games and are talking about their games, and they're twitching, and they're not Mixer, but they're YouTube streaming. Got them. They're Facebook gaming. I guess if anybody, at least, does anybody use that? But yeah, and then it benefits us because we get all these games, and like they're so accessible, and like if you play it enough, it totally pays off. It totally pays for itself.
Yeah, somebody ran the numbers, and like especially if you look at like what games are going to be for next year, they're going to be about like $70. Somebody said if you like a year of Game Pass is like half of the amount had you for like a $70 or like $70 games. Like it's insane. But that's all the time we have, unfortunately, for this discussion.
Dude, we could talk about this forever. Like we didn't even get into GeForce Now.
Oh my god, yeah, we did it.
Next time. GeForce Now, by the way, just a quick aside. Awesome. It's so good too. That's going to be the biggest competitor for this too, for xCloud. GeForce Now is really good. I've been using it for a couple days now, and it's great. It's like it's running better. I mean, it's paid. It's $5 a month, but it's great. xCloud, GeForce Now. That's the future. Sony, you need to catch up. Sony needs to catch up here big time, because this is the moves that they're making silently. They're making these very, like you alluded to earlier, right? They haven't been talking about it. It's not talked about a lot, but this is the silent moves that makes Xbox and Microsoft win the next console race.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Steve, thank you very much for joining us. For joining me. Ali took a break for this last one, but yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Our very first guest, Steve. Thank you. And we will definitely have you on the show in the future. I want to know what you guys think about Project Xcloud, what you think about Game Pass. Are you a current subscriber of Game Pass Ultimate? Is this kind of pushing you more towards it? Do you think it's a good idea, or do you think that for some reason you think this is a terrible idea? Let me know in the comments below. I also want to know what game you would erase from your memory so you can relive again. We'll be back with more Power On Weekly. Ali will join us.
Steve Granado, Power On Weekly favorite guest.
Welcome back. I want to thank Steve once again for joining us and being our very first special guest. We had a really interesting conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed his perspective. Let me know if you want more guests on Power On Weekly.
Yeah, we have some other people we'd love to have on.
Yeah,
for topics that they're interested in, and it's nice to get that extra perspective every once in a while. So
yeah, definitely. So let me know if you want it more consistent, less consistent, once a week, or what you guys think. We're thinking about some ideas, but I always want to know.
Yeah. curious about an opinion, but
Mhm.
we'll probably try a few more other people and see what the general consensus is.
Yeah.
I mean, as lovely as just our wonderful faces are.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Nice to get another perspective as well. But
Variety.
yeah. Thanks again for joining us for Power On Weekly. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, everybody. See you later.
Bye.